So in this video we're going to talk about array dereferencing, which sounds like a complicated term, but in actual fact it's fairly easy, straightforward to understand, and will make your life a lot easier. Now there are a sort of a consideration to doing this, so we'll talk about that in a moment when we've demonstrated what I mean by array dereferencing. So you can see on the screen at the moment I've got a class just called something. I've got a private property just called results, and that holds an array of 4 items. I've also got a function here, or a method rather, called results that basically just returns this. So that's all we're really doing in that sense. And on index.php I just require in this class and I instantiate it. So we've got an object now that we can work with. So this is all well and good, but what am I talking about when I talk about array dereferencing, and what's the point of it? Well, let's just take a look at something that we would have to do to access, say, the first element in this array, this results array, if we were using a version of PHP prior to 5.4. So what we would do is we would say results equals something results. Let's just go ahead and print, do a print R on results just to see what we're dealing with, and just to prove this is actually returning a result set, which it is. You can see 4 elements here in the array that we're printing out here. So what we would do is if we wanted the first element, we would just say first equals results, and you probably guessed 0. That just takes the first element. So if we go ahead and just echo that out, that will should echo out Alex. There we are. So we've retrieved the first element from this array. Now this is all well and good, it works, you know, why should we not do this? Well, it's actually quite annoying, because what we've had to do is, if we don't need this result set again, we've had to create a temporary variable here. So we're creating a variable and really it's unnecessary. So what we could do is, with versions of PHP 5.4 or higher, what we can do is we can actually use array dereferencing, so we can access the first element directly from the array returned from this method. Now from 5.4 you can do this with array literals, which I'm not running 5.4 so I can't demonstrate it, unfortunately, but go ahead to the PHP documentation and this will all be explained, and you know, you can play around with it yourself if you're running version 5.4. But basically what we can do to change what we have at the moment with PHP version 5.4 or higher is we can remove this completely, and we can just say first equals something results, and then we can use our zero index to access the first element. So what this will then do is, if we go ahead and echo this out, well, nothing will change. We have exactly the same result here. I've refreshed and we get the same thing. Now in versions prior to 5.4 this would actually error. So you wouldn't be able to do this, and likewise if you were to access, you know, element 10 in here, you just get the same error as you'd get if you were trying to access an array, an item of an array that didn't exist. So this is really useful simply because we don't have to create temporary variables. Like I said, if we don't need to store these results anywhere, you know, this is it. We've achieved what we need in 1 line rather than 2, which is always good. Now there is a problem here, and that's if you are developing this on a version of 5.5 of PHP or higher, and then this code is run either intentionally or unintentionally on a version of PHP that's lower. Now this will cause an error, and then you'll have to go back and fix it up, or the person that's using the code will have to go ahead and upgrade their PHP version. And this is extremely difficult if it's on, you know, shared hosting or something like that. So if you're developing you know, an application for yourself, and you know that you can, you know, you have complete control over your server and you can install always keep up to date with the latest PHP version, then you're fine. You can use this and it should help you out in your development workflow. But otherwise a consideration does need to be taken into account if you're using this in code that's been given away, sold, used on other systems or anything like that. So that is a consideration, but otherwise this is a much better way to access elements of an array through array dereferencing.